Thanks for joining us for The Drive Back, the movie podcast where we imitate our favorite thing to do after a movie, which is to talk about it on the ride home. I'm Garrett, and of course I'm joined by my good friend and co-host Adrian.
Hey!
And today we're going to be discussing an interesting topic, which are the movies that we're ashamed to admit we haven't seen. Think about it as our pile of shame, if you want to think about it that way. But all of this and more coming up on The Drive Back. Alright, so as we said before the intro, are movies that we are ashamed that we haven't seen before. I feel like this was a pretty easy list to put together. How was it for you, Adrian?
Extremely easy. I have triple-fold the amount that I was supposed to have for this podcast of famous movies I haven't seen. I think some of these are going to be really shocking and might make you listening question why I'm part of a movie podcast. Because some of these are, there's no reason why I haven't seen them, but some of them are pretty big misses on my part.
Yeah, I feel like most of them are going to be, we wanted to watch them and just haven't had time, or, we're going to watch it at some point. There's a couple on here that I own and have not seen. So that's
strange.
And I will try to justify as best I can as we go along. But let's go ahead and jump right in. I have 20 on my list. I think you said you have around 25.
I have around 25, and then I have another 40 that I can do as runner-ups at the end.
Oh, it's just a speed run.
Yeah, we'll just go through, and I'll get your genuine reaction to all the films I haven't seen.
All right, it's time to get some reactions from each other on these ones. What is the first movie you're ashamed to say that you haven't seen?
Jaws.
Okay. I feel like that's a common one, actually. That it's so popular, but not a lot of people have seen it.
I have zero. I mean, I know it's about a shark. I don't know anything else. I have no concept. I've seen the poster, and I've probably talked about it before, but yeah, just never seen it.
Yeah, it's really more like the greed of the town for not shutting down the beaches during the summer, and it's more than just a shark.
Is it like a government satire film?
No, not intentionally, but...
Or like a political allegory or something?
I think the book was supposed to be, but the book's also a lot more dark.
Oh.
So, I guess...
haven't read it either.
Well, yeah. I will go ahead and jump in with my next one, which is take your pick, any of the 3 Austin Powers movies.
Nice.
Have not seen a single one, and it's the same exact thing that's been happening with you on a couple of our movies recently, where it's so ingrained in pop culture and you know the scenes, but you've never actually seen the movie.
You've probably seen the entire film in bits and pieces, just not consecutively.
Just not sat down and watched all 3 of them. I think Beyonce's in one of them or something like that, and for a point it just gets weird. But let's go on. What do you have next?
E.T.
Okay.
I've never seen it.
All right. I feel that's a weird one for you, I feel, though, because you're such a huge sci-fi guy.
Oh, just wait.
All right.
Well, I'm super... This is one of those things, going through... Also with E.T., I know so much about it that... I feel like I've seen kind of the same thing with you with Austin Powers. I feel like I've seen it, and I could tell you all the big scenes and all the quotes and stuff, but just never sat down and watched it.
I will say it's one of the ones I'm 98% sure I've seen, but there's the 2% of me that's did I actually? And is it just because of all the parodies? But I'm 98% sure I've seen it as well. There's just too many movies out there. Next up for me is Donnie Darko.
Nice.
A very, very
That's on my
movie.
list as well.
Well, then I guess we can kind of share the spotlight here. Just always been meaning to watch it and just never actually watched it.
I have no idea what it's about. Cassidy, my girlfriend, actually said that when I read her my list of 65 films, she said out of all of them, she wants to watch Donnie Darko with me because she can't believe I haven't seen it.
There you go. Well, maybe we'll stream it together and we'll get
sure.
all of our reactions. But what's up next for you?
The original Ghostbusters.
Okay, that one's actually shocking. Like,
wait, man. I don't know what to tell you, except I don't... Like, I feel like I know so much, or at least I know a good amount about movies, and I can carry myself in pretty much any conversation about film.
Mm-hmm. You're giving away your secret.
But when it comes... Yeah, I'm a liar. When it comes to, like... Actually, to be honest, when I read this list to Cassidy, she felt betrayed because we talk about these movies, and I know so much about them that I can quote them and, like, parody them and make jokes and all that stuff, but I haven't seen them.
That's incredible. Okay. Well, that's one we're going to have to watch too. Next up for me is quite a dark one that is just always in like movie lists all over the place. That's Requiem for a Dream.
It's on my list as well.
But
it's on my runner-ups.
Yeah, it's not the most popular movie anymore, but like I was talking with a coworker today, and he was like, if you ever want to show a movie to someone and be like, this is why you don't do drugs, it's Requiem for a Dream. And there's just
Jared
a lot
Leto
more going on. Yeah, Jared Leto, Jennifer Connelly, and Ellen Burstyn, I think.
See, we know so much about, just never seen it.
Yep. This sums up most of this, actually. What's up next for you on your list?
This one's going to offend you, but I haven't seen in their entirety any of the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
No, I know that you haven't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that will be a franchise fever coming up soon.
I've seen the Hobbit trilogy for sure. I went to the theaters to see that. I feel like I caught Lord of the Rings late. Like, I think it was one of those things where I went over to a friend's house and they were like, you got to watch the first one. And I was already past the point of like the hype. It was more like, oh, it's already out. It's a movie. Mm-hmm. And I just never caught the train. I do mean to, I know they just released the 4K set. So I think that's something that I might get and try to watch.
There you go. We'll have to do that.
You don't have to watch all these movies with me, Garrett.
Yes, we're just stream them all together.
Yeah.
Next one up for me is I like to think that I'm a pretty decent Tom Clancy fan. A lot of the movies I haven't seen, but the one that really stands out is one that's a favorite of my father's, and that is The Hunt for Red October, which with Sean Connery and Alec Baldwin. Always see that discussed in film circles, and it's just one that I've never got around to watching.
Yeah, that's not on my list, but that is one that I haven't seen and heard about a lot as well.
Yeah, it definitely kind of falls off on film lists and stuff, and it's kind of sad because apparently it's supposed to be very good.
Okay, interesting.
So, what do you got up next?
Any of the Godfathers.
All right. I can understand that one, though, because they're very daunting to get into.
But like I know, the kiss of death, and you come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding.
That's not even close to the accent. And the kiss of death, I don't think is in the movie. No, it is. One. It is. That's right. Yep, that's right.
See? That's what I'm saying. I feel like I've seen them.
Well, they're parodied and like talked about so much that it's just like...
Exactly. And like actually not on this list, but kind of along the same vein, I haven't seen Scarface either.
Yeah, that's one I haven't seen either, but it's been referenced so much. That's actually not on my list either. That's interesting. Next up for me, I'm a huge Christopher Nolan fan, and I have not seen Memento.
That's on my list as well, yeah.
Yeah, it's just one that's always escaped me because it always kind of gets lost in the shuffle. It's one of his first films. I think it's his first major Hollywood one. And it always gets lost behind like The Prestige and Dark Knight and Inception and all these, his much larger movies. So,
but I've watched so many YouTube essays on it and like breaking it down that I definitely feel like I have seen that entire film and I understand the concept and how it works and the film theory behind it. So yeah, just gotta watch. One of those things I gotta watch.
Exactly. What you got next?
Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Never seen it.
Gotcha.
Don't even know what it's about.
I've seen the movie multiple times, and if I could describe the plot to you, it's a weird day.
Okay.
There's just a lot going on. Great movie, though.
No clue. Okay.
Next up for me is Akira, which I don't know if you've seen. I think you've seen Akira, right?
No. I know what you're talking about, and I've actually been looking into getting the graphic novels, but I don't feel like that one has come up in movie circles as much for me.
Really? Well, I mean, maybe in the circles you're in, because I feel like Akira is the most widely regarded anime movie that's not Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, maybe it's just maybe all the circles that I talk to are more like mundane film viewers. Like they're not like super niche or anything. So Studio Ghibli's kind of like the epitome of those conversations, I guess.
Yeah, and Akira's held up there with Blade Runner for creating the cyberpunk genre as we know it. So
yeah, I guess I will say I have heard of the legacy that it's left and all of that stuff, and I've watched breakdowns of the animation and all that.
Yeah, but what's up next for you, sir?
Schindler's List.
That, again, I can understand. It's a very sad movie.
But super faint, like talked about all the time.
Yes, because it's very good. It's in my 4K collection. Many people ask me why, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know, because it's just a very good movie.
I like to cry every time.
I just like to sit there and just cry my eyes out. That's why. But yeah, I totally get that one. A lot of people I think there is a stigma with it being so sad, kind of like Requiem for a Dream being so dark that a lot of people just don't want to watch it. And it's like, well, it's an important one. You should watch it. But next up for me, any of the four, take your pick. Lethal Weapon.
I haven't seen those either. They weren't on my list though, but haven't seen any of them.
Yeah, another favorite of my father's that was just always sitting in our video collection, and I always meant to watch it and never did.
Never got around to it.
And then I always quote the diplomatic immunity, "It's just been revoked" line, and but I've never seen it.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a quote.
Next, Adrian, what you got?
Saving Private Ryan.
Kind of hand in hand with Schindler's List because they were about 5 years apart.
Kind of, yeah. They are right next to each other on my list, but again, like I probably hear about Saving Private Ryan at least every other month. Like someone will talk about Saving Private Ryan in some capacity, and I just have never seen it.
I get it, but a lot of people consider it to be one of the best war movies ever made, if not the best. I have to disagree. I still think Black Hawk Down is a better war movie.
Oh, I haven't seen that either.
Personally, but that's just me.
Also haven't seen Apocalypse Now.
That's another big one. I'm sure is that on your list here?
It wasn't, but Black Hawk Down was on my runner-ups. And so basically war films, apparently.
There's quite a few that, I like watching war movies, and there's quite a few that have escaped me, like The Thin Red Line, Wind Talkers, and
I feel like I've seen a lot of the new ones, like Zero Dark 30.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those newer ones, I would say maybe post-2010. I've seen all of those, but before that, just never caught up. I've seen Tropic Thunder.
Well, yeah, sure. We'll count it. Next up for me is No Country for Old Men.
I've also not seen it.
Yeah, which is always held... When it comes to the Oscar winners of the last 20 years, it's usually up there with, Parasite, which is a huge one, obviously.
Heads or tails.
Which is an incredibly... tense scene. So, what you got next?
Next, I have The Shining.
Oh,
never seen it. Love horror movies, just never got around to it. Again, parodied so much and just referenced so much, and the maze and all the stuff. It's just so heavily in pop culture that I pretty much get all of it. I know all the major scenes. So,
yeah. I was gonna say it's kind of weird that you're such a big horror fan and you haven't seen it, but I will say
doesn't seem scary.
It's not Kubrick's best movie. I'll just say that.
Stanley Kubrick has entered the chat.
Well, his ghost has entered the chat.
Speaking of, Garrett, I surprised you. I went ahead and called Stanley Kubrick up here. He's in the podcast.
Well, why'd you cast Shelley Duvall in the role of the wife? That was a horrible choice.
Why did you cast the hedges for the maze?
Why didn't you use trees? Yeah. So next up, speak of the devil, what I just mentioned earlier is Parasite. I still have not watched Parasite.
That is a big one for you, yeah.
Which usually I love to watch all the Oscar movies, and I didn't watch this one. No reason why. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
That's very worth it, as all of these are. But that one's very, very good.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say some of these are worth it. I don't know if Austin Powers shakes the very core of what film has become, but what's next for you?
This is probably going to be a big one for me. This is 2001 Space Odyssey.
That is a big one.
I've read the book, as well as 2010 Space Odyssey, and I just have never seen the movie. Again, I know most of the big things like Hal and kind of the concept of what goes on in the movie, but just never got around to it. The monolith at the beginning, but just nothing.
It is a long movie too, and it's
a great book.
The book is fantastic, which was actually written at the same time the movie was being made. So
the movies kind of go hand in hand.
They're not based off of each other in any way. It's kind of just made at the same time. The book is fantastic, and it does describe the ending a bit better than what the movie does.
Sure.
But next for me is a big one for me that I've been waiting to watch this since we started the podcast, and I've started growing my interest in film even more than what I had before. I have been meaning to watch Lawrence of Arabia, and I still have not watched it. It is one of the most beautifully shot films of all time, and I want to watch it.
Huh.
That's all
it wasn't even on my radar. Not even on my list.
I'll show you some of the shots from that movie, and it'll change your mind quick. It'll be shooting to the top. Okay. What's next for you?
The original Psycho.
Okay.
You ever seen it? Again, I love horror, but again, I get it. And that's kind of it. I don't really think there's too much else to read into with that movie. I feel like I don't need to see that one.
I mean, you probably should in the grand scheme of things because we are a film podcast. We talk about film, but maybe it's just a one watch and done type thing.
I feel like I could have a full conversation with you about Psycho, and you would not know that I haven't seen it.
Well, now I know, but anyone else?
Well, now you know.
Similar for me in the vein of Psycho is Hitchcock's other film, Vertigo, which I have not seen.
Also on my list, have not seen it.
Have been waiting to watch that for quite a while. I own it now in a 4K pack that I bought with The Birds and Psycho and Rear Window, but just never saw Vertigo. So
yeah,
what you got?
The Breakfast Club.
Ooh, okay, pretty popular one.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good one. I haven't seen that one either, and I hear good things about it, and I've been meaning to watch it. That wasn't even on my list, so...
I feel like it's supposed to be super influential in movies and kind of just that whole, school film kind of culture that it helped kind of solidify a lot of tropes with that, and just, never seen it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's one that I've been meaning to watch as well. So, kind of coming to the end of the ones that are shocking... Next one up for me is Inside Out, the Pixar movie with the...
That's an interesting one that you haven't seen. I wouldn't have expected that.
Yeah, it's I think it's literally the only Pixar movie I haven't seen is Inside Out.
Huh, that's worth seeing.
Yeah, which, I mean, I love Soul, and Soul's in the same vein of exploring, concepts that are beyond what an animated film should. And
There's actually rumors that they're tied directly, that Soul is a prequel.
That would be interesting, actually. We'll have to see.
Well, I don't want to spoil it, but there's actually... It hasn't been confirmed by Pixar, but there's quite a bit of proof that they lead directly into each other.
I can see it. I think most of the Pixar movies are related, but that one, or those two specifically, I can see.
Well, so I guess this doesn't really spoil anything, but at the end of Soul, it shows the girl opening her eyes, and that's it. And then Inside Out starts with her opening her eyes.
Oh, okay. So kind of like, a fan theory.
Another fan theory. Listen to the other episode.
What you got next?
The Silence of the Lambs.
All right, interesting. Just another one that didn't show up.
Again, I feel like I get it. I feel a lot of these are I've been talked to about so much that it's like, I don't know, is my life really going to change if I go out and watch Silence of the Lambs tonight? Am I really going to be able to have a better conversation? I don't think so.
Yes. No.
The next podcast I've watched Silence of the Lambs and I'm glowing. I'm just radiating.
I have ascended to a new plane of film appreciation.
As the credits roll on Silence of the Lambs, the end of Indiana Jones 4 happens with the crystal skulls all spinning around me, and I want to know more. Show me.
Oh, all right. Well, I didn't expect to hear that conversation today. That was great. My last one that I would consider to be not super controversial that I haven't seen is any of the Karate Kid films.
Oh, I have also not seen them, but those aren't on my list. Oh, no, I saw the one with Jaden Smith.
Oh, okay. Well,
the new one. I don't know if that counts.
I don't know either, but I haven't seen the movie, so I'm not a fan of it.
Seems
so
like I'm a fake fan if I claim I've seen them, and I've only seen the one with James
Yeah, I've
Smith.
seen The Karate Kid. It's the one with Jackie Chan, right? What you got next, bud?
Okay, my next one is The Big Lebowski. Never seen it.
See, that one I understand, again, because it's like a very niche movie.
But super famous. I mean, talked about all the time.
Yeah, it's definitely a cult classic. So,
okay, so I'm thinking since you're done, I'm just going to go through this list.
Oh, I'm not done. I have more that are just more controversial.
Okay. Go ahead.
Gotcha. So, next up, I mean, this one's not as controversial, but any of the Richard Donner Superman movies with Christopher Reeve.
I haven't seen those.
The original ones, I have not seen those. Are you at the end of your list? Is that why you're...
No, I have 65.
No, for the ones, like for the 20 or 25 or whatever.
No, I still have more.
Okay, what you got next?
I've never seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh.
Yeah, very famous movie. Never seen it.
All right. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those ones that kind of falls off the radar, I guess. Especially when you have so many new movies coming out. It's kind of hard to go back and watch some of the classics. All right, we're starting to get in some big ones here. Next one for me is Baby Driver.
That's a great movie.
Never seen it, and I have seen it analyzed so much, and I have never actually seen it. So I need to sit down and watch it.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's not a difficult watch either. That's just a fun movie.
It's an Edgar Wright movie. It's going to be really easy to watch.
Yeah, it's just like you would it'd fly by while watching.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Next up,
another potentially controversial one for me is Clockwork Orange.
Oh, okay.
Never seen it.
Again, it's another dark movie, so, I mean...
No idea what it's about. Assuming there's, like, some fruits and a couple of cuckoo clocks.
Sure, bud. Keep thinking that. All right, starting to get some big ones here. Next one for me is Seven.
That's on my list, too. I've not seen it.
I mean, we all know what's in the box. We all know the killer revealed scene that happens way earlier in the movie than you think it would. Which I'm not going to spoil here in case you haven't seen it. But, I've never seen it, but I have seen it. I pretty much have seen the entire movie through an analysis and Cinefix videos and things like that, but never actually seen it. What you got next?
I've never seen Goonies.
I actually haven't either.
Wow, how fun.
And people always talk about it, like the "Hey you guys" stuff, and I'm just like, cool, I don't get it. Like
that's another one that I just feel like I don't know, doesn't seem worth it.
But like every single person you talk to is like, "How have you not seen it?" And it's like,
and that's one of those ones where I just go, "I haven't. Leave me alone."
I haven't. Yeah, leave me alone. Alrighty, let's get into some more controversial ones. I have only seen 2 movies by this studio, and which is very shocking. I have only seen Spirited Away and Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. I have not seen any other of the Studio Ghibli movies. Even though I own Princess Mononoke and Howl's Moving Castle, I have not watched them yet, even though they're on HBO Max.
That's where I watched all of them. They're all really, really good. Ponyo's especially good.
They're all incredible films. So, like, again, I'm that one is actually embarrassing for me because I how much I would love the other 2 that I've seen. I know and My Neighbor Totoro. We watched that one as well. But
the one that I found the least interesting, this is probably controversial to say, was Kiki's Delivery Service.
I can see that.
I found that one just like, it was good, but it definitely wasn't like if they're all A+ platinum tier, that one was like gold.
All right, fair enough. What you got next?
The next one is Sound of Music.
That's a big one.
Yeah,
but
I know The Hills Are Alive. I don't know.
With the sound,
I get it confused with The Hills Have Eyes as well.
The hills are alive. With the hills have eyes. Like that. That would be that. Oh, we need that crossover movie. We need it.
Dude, that's a fun one. That could be a double feature. We'll do Sound of Music and The Hills Have Eyes.
I have 3 more that are pretty controversial here. One of them we've talked about here on the channel, and I have not seen any of the 9 Fast and Furious movies.
That is just an outright sin.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Because I've talked to the people who I have talked to, the reactions, I'm like, yeah, I haven't seen any of the Fast and Furious movies. They either boil down to two different reactions. One, how could you? You're not a film fan, whatever. It's a sin, like you just said, whatever. The second one, oh yeah, you can watch the first one. The rest of them are trash.
Both those are true. Both those statements are true.
No one's wrong.
Yeah, no one's wrong in who you're talking to.
Oh,
the first one's great. All the rest are trash, and I can't believe you haven't seen them. It's a sin.
It's one of those things. Like it never appealed to me. Like,
they're so good.
I love action movies.
Be amazing.
I love action movies. I love pointless, story. I'm okay with things that have no real plot or whatever. But it's just, I don't know. Like, Vin Diesel is just such a weird guy. Like, have you ever seen the video interview with him? And I think she's like, a reporter from Spain or something like that.
Yeah, where he goes like, "God, you're beautiful."
He's so bad, and I just see that the whole time
for sure. Yeah.
And then I just think of the game Wheelman.
Here's what I say about Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious is what I feel like watching them is I feel like is if you got a bunch of friends together and then you went to an Olive Garden. Because when you're here, you're family. And you never turn your back on family, even when they do.
As long as you make that Cuban mile.
Also, well, you haven't seen it. There's so much. Also, that's how you learn to live your life a quarter mile at a time.
Oh, man. If you're talking this much about Fast and Furious, just wait till you get my next one. Okay. What you got next?
My next one is Risky Business. I feel like that's very famous. Kind of hand in hand with that is Cocktail. I've never seen either of those.
Okay, fair enough.
I just feel like as far as Tom Cruise movies go, those are like I've seen Vanilla Sky and Top Gun, but and Eyes Wide Shut. But as far as maybe his top 5 independent films, those are the two that I haven't seen.
Yeah, and that reminds me, I haven't seen Top Gun either. That's not on my list.
That's a crazy one.
That is a crazy one. Not as crazy as the next one, though, for me.
Okay.
I have not seen any. Well, I've seen one of them. But except for one, I have not seen any Mission Impossible.
Oh, my favorite.
I have seen Ghost Protocol. I saw it in theaters. I haven't seen any of the other ones. I have heard that 1, 2, and 3 are completely skippable. But...
Oh, that's rude. Cassidy and I watched the original TV series because she hadn't seen any of them. So we watched the TV series, all the episodes, and then we watched all the films.
Wow.
We had to space it out because, to be fair, just like Fast and the Furious, after you watched about 3 of the movies back to back, you kind of day to day, you kind of realize that they all feel like the same movie. But if you space it out maybe one a month, they're very fresh and very exciting. I love them, and I think they've gotten better and better. I'm very excited for the new.
Yeah, I know the critic scores have risen with every movie, and I think
that's because Tom Cruise gets closer and closer to dying on screen.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for him to go up to Mars on his own, or free dive to the Marianas Trench or something in the next one.
Yeah, he actually halo jumps, high altitude, low opening. He actually did that. So did the cameraman, actually. But they just showed, when they first started filming this new one, they showed, the first shots of them filming. And it was him driving a dirt bike off of a canyon and then opening a parachute while the bike explodes into the wall of the canyon. That's the first shot we've gotten from...
I think it's also this one he went to space.
I think you're thinking of Fast and Furious.
No, Mission Impossible is going to space.
He's also going to space? Oh, yes, space, 2021.
He's been trained, and I think the director has been too.
That's so cool.
It's, yeah. What you got next, bud? Because we were on the line.
Next, I have Breakfast at Tiffany's.
I have not seen that one either.
Yeah. Always talked about and always referenced in songs and kind of all over the place, but... Yep, just another one.
Yeah. Just, again, one that's in discussions a lot, and I just have never had the time to actually sit down and watch it. So, all right. I got my last one here. and I'm sure
Okay.
there's several that you'll talk about that I haven't seen. This one is actually proper embarrassing.
Oh.
Are you ready?
Yes.
I have not seen Blade Runner or Blade Runner 2049.
And you own both.
Yet I own both of them. I own a collector's set for Blade Runner that has 3 different versions. I own Blade Runner 2049 on 4K, and I have not watched either of them. Now, you may be wondering, Garrett, why do you own them? Well, I bought the 3-pack of the first Blade Runner when it was on sale at Barnes & Noble, and it was like this collector's pack. I was like, oh, I know I'm going to love this movie, so I'm going to buy it. Put it on my shelf. Never watched it. Then, fast forward a couple of years, I got my 4K Blu-ray player, my Xbox One X or whatever, and I'm like, I'm looking for some really good-looking 4K movies that I can watch. One of the best-looking movies that come out in the last 5-10 years is Blade Runner 2049. So I threw that on my shelf, too. Still haven't watched it, even though I know that I am going to love both of those movies. I just have not had the time or the willpower to sit down and watch them.
Yeah, they're both really cool. I think the final cut is my favorite version out of the 5 for the original. But the whole Teardrops in the Rain, I think it's Do Electric Sheep Dreams, the story that it's based on, but the quote about Teardrops in the Rain.
Dream of Electric Sheep.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
But the whole speech towards the end of like Teardrops in the Rain is hugely famous and famous for being improvised.
Yes.
Very, very famous. I'm so surprised. I mean, you own them. You have to watch them.
Yeah, I know. They're on my list. Believe me, my list is like 1,000 movies long right now. So.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But that's it for me. Let's go ahead through the rest of your list here, Mr. Adrian.
Okay, we'll just go through. I'm just going to start riffing them off here. Bambi. Never seen it. I know that the mom dies. Next one.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
Yes, if you haven't seen Bambi. Little Mermaid. Never seen it. The Princess Bride.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Babe with the pig.
I haven't seen Babe.
Let's see here. I've got Taxi Driver.
Still need to watch that.
Goodfellas.
That's a great movie.
12 Angry Men.
That's also a great movie.
Citizen Kane.
Did you just go down the IMDb top 250?
Nope. It'll
Okay. Citizen Kane.
Casablanca.
I will say Citizen Kane is overrated, yet it is still a good movie.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Casablanca.
One of my favorite movies.
On with the Wind.
I have not seen Gone with the Wind either, but I know it's on HBO Max, and I knew I need to watch it.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll watch it now that it's on HBO Max. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I've heard so much about that. Life of Brian.
That's a very good one.
Yep, I know. I've heard. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
That is an incredible movie. And I'm kind of disappointed you haven't seen that one.
The Usual Suspects.
I haven't seen that one either, actually.
Any James Bond movie before the Daniel Craig series?
That's a little odd.
That's
When
Harry Met.
That's going to be a heck of a franchise fever.
Yeah, I see the collection at Target all the time, but it's one of those things like when I buy collections, like the Marvel one right here, I like it to be complete. Like I know there's going to be more James Bond movies that aren't in that set, and that is my reason for not buying it.
Well, there's also more Marvel movies.
But they'll be in a different phase and there'll be a whole new box. This is an entire arc. Like that is done.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like right now in that box set, there's 4 Daniel Craig ones and there's still one that's coming out.
True.
Like maybe once Daniel Craig is officially done and it's like that is the collection, maybe. But until that happens, I'm not going to do that.
Fair.
But yeah, haven't seen any of them. When Harry Met Sally.
I have not seen that either, but I know it's very good.
And then 10 Things I Hate About You.
I have not seen that one.
Ghost.
Have not seen that one.
Sleepless in Seattle.
Have not seen that one.
Ben-Hur.
Have not. That was on my list actually, but
Labyrinth with David Bowie.
Have not seen that one.
Let's see. Any of the Evil Deads.
That's a little shocking. Evil Dead.
Let's
2,
hold on a second.
Evil Dead 2 is my favorite Halloween movie to watch.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of them. I also haven't seen any of the Halloweens besides the new one.
Oh, that's fair.
And then
Neither
let's
have I.
see. Braveheart.
I watched it a while ago. It's good. Yeah.
Rain Man.
It's good.
The Grand Budapest Hotel.
I need to watch that one.
Wayne's World, or any of the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. Haven't seen any of them.
I have not seen Wayne's World, but I have seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and that one's good.
I also haven't seen Dude, Where's My Car with Ashton Kutcher.
I have not seen that one either.
Then I already Requiem for a Dream, Black Hawk Down. I haven't seen any of the Freddy vs. Jason films.
I mean, there's only
or
one.
like no, but nothing with either of them. Yeah,
okay.
Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. I've never seen any of them.
Mm-hmm.
Looper, which I feel like has become a pretty big staple in sci-fi movies.
Mm-hmm.
People talk about it all the time in the theory. Any of the Ip Man films.
I really want to watch those.
I know, me too. One of those things. There's like 3 of them. They seem long.
4 of them now.
Even less
Gotta catch
reason
up.
to. And then my last one, which I just know a lot of people get on me for, but I haven't seen Pocahontas.
Okay. I mean, it's so I guess I take it you weren't raised in a Disney household if you haven't seen a lot.
I mean, I was like Dumbo was one of my favorite movies growing up. I hadn't seen Peter Pan though until recently. I had seen Tarzan. Like, I just don't think it was pushed. Like
Gotcha.
I feel like a lot of parents are like, you got to watch I got to show my kid all the Disney movies, and that wasn't really pushed. My dad would more show me like The Ring or Hide and Seek. Or Predator or Alien, and scar me and scare me into nightmares all the time. But I do love horror movies now, so I guess something came of that.
No,
but
there you go.
Yeah, it was never like a. Yeah, I don't know. They just never pushed it, so haven't seen a lot of the original Disney.
Fair enough. Well, if there's anything we've learned from both of our lists, it's that you can be a film fanatic, a cinephile, whatever you want to call it, and not have seen a lot of movies. Like,
well, yeah, I feel like there's
no way to watch every movie in your lifetime, though. Like,
I wonder how many movies exist, like the number.
Oh, it's a I don't want to say an infinite amount, but like it's very, very, very large.
Like, do you think there's 1 million movies?
Oh, there's more than that.
And I'm gonna classify a movie as at least an hour.
There is more than that.
I wonder how many there are.
It's got to be multiple millions, just because you're at least I'm thinking you're only taking into regard American films. There's also Bollywood. There's also Japan.
Oh, I'm talking about globally. No, I'm talking about everything. I mean,
yeah.
What's the number?
It's probably millions. Like,
interesting.
You think about all the parody movies that were made, like in Turkey during the 70s. You think about all the snuff films that never, like Cannibal Holocaust and all that. Yeah, like there's so many movies in the world.
Though the number isn't known, it has been estimated that there are approximately 500,000 movies or narrative fiction feature-length theatrical cinema films currently in existence.
I feel like it's more than that, though. Like that's.
I feel like it is too, but that is a.
Well, it's a narrative fiction, not documentaries, not all that kind of stuff too. Which are
that's
films.
true. There's a ton more, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's no way to watch them all, and it's just these are some of the more embarrassing ones because they're some of the bigger films, more popular, more well known, best films of all time, whatever you want to call them. So yeah, don't be ashamed if you haven't seen any of these movies either. I mean. That's a part of what we're doing here. There's a lot of these movies that are getting added to our list to watch because Adrian hasn't seen a lot of staples apparently, and neither have I. So we're gonna be adding those to the list for sure. But that's gonna bring us to an end for this episode. Adrian, if they want to learn more about who we are, where we are, when we post, all that fun stuff, where can they find us?
Yeah, the Drive Back podcast on all social media. Instagram is kind of our main hub right now. You'll find out when any episode comes out. You'll get a story for quick reviews, kind of a more just casual. Garrett has posted a couple that just quick reviews of movies that he's watched in his free time. So kind of just all of our hub for information is there. And we love to have conversations. And if you have any movie suggestions, go ahead and leave them. And then we do have YouTube exclusive videos. That's where we pretty much do any movies that are out in theaters or streaming right now. We release a no spoiler review, and then we release a spoiler filled review a couple days later. So that way you can kind of get the feel if you want to see the movie, watch it, and then come back and talk about it with us.
Absolutely. And one thing that I have, this dreads me to say this out loud, and this is the first time Adrian's going to hear this too, so this is a true exclusive. how would you guys feel, and feel free to answer in the comments, message us on social media, about us having a TikTok to put reviews out, short reviews for new release films? Maybe that would be, because
I think that's a great idea.
It just tends to be the new hit platform for all these Zoomers, and I guess I'm just freaking old.
Yeah, no, that's huge. There's a podcast that do I shout them out? Yeah, I guess they're called Raiders of the Lost Art film podcast, but they blew up like overnight on TikTok. It's a fantastic platform.
Well, then if you guys would enjoy that, let us know in the comments below, message us on social media, and we'd love to hear that. But other than that, that's going to bring us to an end for this episode. Make sure you subscribe, follow us on any podcast app. We'll have a new episode coming out a week from the time that this one comes out, and we can't wait to get it to you. So thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time on The Drive Back. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Drive Back. Make sure to be on the lookout for new episodes every Monday, and make sure to follow us on social media.